There we go in three, two, one. Back at it here on the Alaska Sports Talk podcast. So glad to have you along wherever you get your podcasts as we move on into the month of June here.
June,
June. We're halfway through the year, folks. Halfway. Just
halfway through
count.
summer.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, summer was last week when we had
Yeah, it
those
was
nice
last
days.
week. It was
Those
a
three
nice last
days.
week, though. I
It
will
was
say
nice
that.
last week.
It
It
was a
was
great
very
last
nice.
week.
Isaiah Freeman, Keaton Homer along with you. Glad to have you wherever you're listening. Obviously, with moving on into June, we have wrapped up the official high school sports calendar now.
Hmm.
Uh, Wrapped up last week with state baseball, state softball, uh, concluding all the high school sports for the 2025-2026 school year. So we'll be talking about that. Talking about some signees for the UAA women's basketball program, some ladies coming back home to play for Coach Matt Toon. So some big signees coming into this year's class as well. And I don't know, whatever else we might want to talk about. Maybe we'll
No,
talk
what's
about Brad. I don't
yeah,
know.
we could talk about Brad.
Yeah, Brad's not here. I mean, yeah. So
Brad's out somewhere enjoying sun with basketball camp of some sort. Yeah.
yeah, I can't remember where he said where he said he was going. It's like not,
Akiachek.
is that what
I
it was?
think it was Akiachek.
I
I'm
can't
pretty sure.
remember.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But again, I could be wrong, but I
We'll have to go back
think that's
and
what it was.
go back and listen to last week's episode and find
Exactly.
out. So, but Brad is not here. So, I mean, he can't get Isaiah too riled up, unlike last week. Last
Yeah.
week turned into the Isaiah opinion show,
The
which was
rant
awesome.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I have a few. I mean, I could definitely get on it. That's not wrong. I mean,
Well, no.
it's,
I mean, if if you disagree, then you're wrong. Like that's how I think you feel sometimes. Just like
well,
it,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I do feel like that sometimes. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, you're wrong. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
then
that's great. I'm glad you
yeah,
have that. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I
you're
feel like
wrong.
yeah. That's the segment. That's the segment. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
You're
that's
wrong.
you're wrong.
But it,
That's the title of the next instead of Isaiah's rants or something. You're wrong.
you're wrong.
You're
We'll just
just
get a
wrong.
voiceover guy.
Yeah.
You're wrong. I like it. I like it.
Oh wow.
Well, who wasn't wrong in D1 baseball was the Juneau-Douglas Crimson Bears.
No.
Uh, Juneau taking home the 2026 ASAA D1 state baseball title. Uh, Recap the bracket here briefly before we talk about the championship game. Last Thursday, it all started off in the quarterfinal round. Diamond defeating Palmer 5-2. Service defeating Soldotna 9-4. Juneau defeated Colony in the opening round 8-3, and then West Valley in somewhat of an upset
Hmm.
against South won 4-2. Got a great pitching performance in the quarterfinal round for the Wolfpack to put them into the semifinals for the first time in a long time. I want to say it was like 12 years, something like
Uh,
that, maybe even
yeah.
longer for them to advance to the semifinals for West Valley Wolfpack. So it set up the semifinals between Diamond and Service, and then Juneau and West Valley. Service um, getting another good pitching performance uh, on Friday to win 6-3 against Diamond to put them back into the state championship game for the second consecutive year. And then Juneau winning easily over West Valley 11-1. So the Crimson Bears getting to the state championship game. Second year in a row that a team from the Southeast has made the D1 state championship game. Because if you remember, last year it was Sitka
Well,
and Service in the D1 championship game. So Service, I guess you could say, even though it's not Sitka, looking for a little bit of revenge against the Southeast team and fell short. Juneau able to rally in the sixth inning. Marcus Mendoza came up with some clutch hitting and also some clutch pitching as he closed out the game. Uh, didn't allow any runs in the final 3 and 2/3 innings on that championship game and came up with a clutch single as well in the sixth inning and able to rally the Crimson Bears as Juneau able to win 5-4 over Service. And they did it against Ryland Nikolai, right? Nikolai on the mound.
yeah, that's wild.
So, I mean, you're talking about the Gatorade Player of the Year, right? Probably one of the state's top three pitchers, easily, I would
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah. I would think so.
And you rallied from behind, right? So that's impressive to do it in that fashion. So the Juneau-Douglas Crimson Bears winning the state title. It is their seventh state championship since there's been a state baseball tournament, which dates back to like I think 2000. I believe is when ASAA first started the
Sounds
Division
right.
One state baseball tournament. So, but they have won seven titles over the span of since 2000. Um, but yeah, just wild. But congratulations to Marcus Mendoza, the Juneau-Douglas Crimson Bears, as they were able to claim the D1 state baseball championship with a big win, 5-4, and did it in dramatic fashion. So I don't know. I'm not. Am I surprised that a Southeast team won it?
No.
No,
Nope.
no. I mean, you look at the record books. I mean, last 2 years it's been a Southeast team. Sitka has six state championships over the course of their, I mean, state tournament appearances. So, yeah, Juneau was seven. South has six. Sitka was six, and then Service with two, and then everybody else: East Kodiak, Diamond, Chugiak, Wasilla, each with one over the span of the tournament. So, I mean, you're telling me 13 of the D1 state baseball tournaments are in the Southeast since 2000? Come
That
on.
that tells you
That's it.
something.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. The dominance of Southeast baseball, uh, very impressive. So it continues again this year after the Juneau-Douglas Crimson Bears picking up that victory over Service. Your third place team, by the way, Diamond, they won 8-1 over West Valley uh, in this year's tournament. The fourth place team, or I think it was fourth place, Soldotna with a 6-1 win over the South Anchorage Wolverines. So D2 baseball, only four teams in the bracket. And
Yeah.
that was a sticking point for Isaiah. If you tune into previous shows, way too
It
many teams, starting a day
yeah,
early.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, but
I'm sure people were yelling at, Isaiah just hates D2 and all the
no,
D2 schools. No, no,
no,
no.
no, not at
It's
all. Not at
no.
all.
I
But
love the fact that the pitching was able to do more. The scores were
yeah,
definitely not nearly as lopsided as in previous years. I mean,
yeah,
much more competitive. 2-1, 8-5, 5-6. The only one was the 12-2 game in consolation for Division Two,
right.
which I know Monroe does not normally have a lot of kids. And so Monroe is definitely in the past, and Delta to a certain extent in the past have been subject to, some of those lopsided games because of pitching. So it was really nice to see that aspect, a lot of really competitive games.
Yeah, yeah. As you mentioned, some of the scores. I mean, you take a look at the first round, the quote unquote semifinals, the opening round of the state tournament in D2 baseball. Petersburg and Kodiak going at it in the opening round. Petersburg winning 2-1. And I remember like a couple of years ago, Petersburg winning, I think in the quarterfinal round, it could have been even in the semis. They won like 22 to,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know, some wild baseball score. But I remember them putting up like 20 plus runs in a game one year. Yeah. So the scores, and I think, as you mentioned, the pitching much more indicative of why the scores were probably a little bit lower than in years past. So Petersburg making it to the championship game. The Homer Mariners taking down the Monroe Catholic Rams 8-5 to get to the state title game, and then the Mariners able to claim the D2 state baseball championships with a 6-5 win over the Petersburg Vikings. So your Homer Mariners, your D2 state baseball champions, trying to find the D2 record book and see the last time that Homer had a baseball title. I don't. Do you
Well,
have that pulled up?
Division Two baseball has
Right.
not been around very long, and
I didn't think so,
they
but
have not. It was the first year it was Palmer that won,
okay.
and then the next, I think, 4 years, 5 years, it was Soldotna.
Yeah,
So,
you're right. They had a 4-year run where they won
yep.
four in a row. Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. All right. Well, congratulations, D2 new state champion, the Home
Yeah,
Mariners. So
absolutely.
first time for them in D2 baseball to claim a state championship. So uh and they did it with a one-run victory. Not a 25 to 20,
Or
kind of game.
22 to 1.
Or
That's
that.
why we've seen that before.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that wraps up state baseball on the season. State softball obviously concluded as well. D1 bracket this year. Uh, the Sitka Wolves, who had played D2 softball,
Correct. Up until last
now,
year had played
yeah,
D2. Yep.
now in Division One. So they make the state tournament. They have obviously you got to remember there's pool play, and then after the pool play, you get into the seeding kind of thing for the I guess you call it, I don't know, championship
Well,
brackets, I guess,
yeah, you
or
got it's the double elimination. So you've got
yeah,
the winners bracket. I always called it the winners bracket and losers bracket. I mean,
right,
the other way to say it would be the consolation
consolation,
bracket. Yeah.
yeah, and Sitka, even though they won their opening round game against Wasilla 3-2, they fall to South in the championship semifinals, I guess you could call it, against the Wolverines 10-9. So that put them into the consolation bracket where they had to claw their way back through to get to the championship game. Chugiak, they ran the table all the way through to the championship game after uh, defeating Colony 13-4, and then also 8-7 against Sitka in the championship. Um, I guess, well, that
Championship
the
second round semifinal.
yes, thank you. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Oh, don't. Yeah. Those are, it's kind of like a semifinal, really, but not. I mean, it's a semifinal, it just happens to be a day earlier than the other semifinal.
Well, and I think the bracket's a little wonky here too, because hold on. At least, well, Chugiak won the D1 state softball tournament,
Right.
but the way that the bracket is here, it shows that Sitka won the championship game 15-13,
Yeah.
which is that's not right.
That's, no, that's not right.
That's a little wonky
There's something wrong with that one.
because Chugiak won the title 8-5 um, over Sitka. What I think happened is that that's the if necessary game. That's what that is. That fifteen
They may have put
thirteen.
the games in backwards
Yes, they
on
did.
the stuff. Yeah.
They did. So what happened was is that Sitka won the first game, right, to force the if necessary game, and then Chugiak won the championship in the if game. So, whew, my goodness. Don't look at that bracket. You'll
Yeah,
get confused.
it's a confusing one for
It's
sure.
confusing. Sorry. So, Sitka with wins over Wasilla and South, and then they lost to Chugiak. That put them into the consolation bracket. They had to beat Colony 12-0 to get back into the championship game. Finally did that. They beat Chugiak 15-13, and then Chugiak beat Sitka to win the title. Did you get all that? You can see why
I,
Isaiah's confused
yeah,
after.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. And the funny thing is I'm looking at the bracket as you're explaining it, and it's just best I would advise not looking at the bracket while you're listening to this
Right.
because it does make it a little bit more confusing.
Well, and I probably confused people earlier when I said that Sitka lost to South, and that wasn't the case. They actually won by a run and stayed in the, you know, upper portion of the bracket until they played Chugiak, and then they lost to Chugiak, and then
Oh,
and then they went down to the other side of the bracket, but then they won again, so they got back to the championship game and they won again, but they didn't win enough, and then they lost in the championship, and Chugiak wins. Boom, that's it.
clear as mud, everyone. Clear as mud. There we go. That's
Oh,
what
there
we're
you
here
go.
for. Clarity. We're here for
Uh,
clarity.
Bottom line is that the Mustangs win the softball state championship. Aubrey Sims had a terrific game, went 3 for 3, had 5 RBIs, I believe, uh, while going 3 for 3. Also, two of those 3 hits were were doubles as well. Um, I
That's pretty
believe the
good.
Mustangs, yeah, that's a great day at the plate. I
Yeah.
think it's the second title in a couple of years for Chugiak in softball. I believe they won back in 2023 as well.
Let's take a
So
look.
look it up, stats and
Stats and
info.
research. Stats
Come
and research.
on.
Yep, 2023.
Hey, I was right. All right. Fantastic. So, um, do you know how many they've won off the top of your head in total? It's gonna be
I I
four or
don't.
five is my guess. That's
Chugiak
my
was a
guess.
run. Chugiak was a runner-up last year to South.
Right.
And then in 2024 it was East won. And then 2023. Well, and they were Chugiak was a runner-up in 24 and 25, and now in 26 champion again, and they were champion in 23. So four straight four straight state title games. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah. Last year when they played South, it went to the if game too, I believe.
Oh,
And
and in
Chugiak.
2022 they were in the state title game
Okay, they're
too.
pretty good.
They're
All
pretty
right.
good. They're pretty
They're
good.
pretty good. They're pretty good.
And in
So,
2021, holy smokes. I haven't been at softball and when I was at ASAA, I
right.
hadn't been there in
Because
such a
you're always
long
at
time.
baseball. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the softball tournament. It's a lot of action, lots of it's very noisy. It's very noisy.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of cheering, lots of dugout cheering.
I've always wondered that in softball, the chants and things like that. Why doesn't that translate to baseball? Like,
Oh,
why is that not a
uh, Keaton,
like?
I think it finally did because for the longest time it was nice with baseball. You didn't really hear a lot. I mean, you heard some cheering, but not anything like what softball's done. But at
Okay,
D2, the last 3 years, last 4 or 5 years actually, that I've been at D2, they were cheering just as much as the softball ladies were
really
all the time. I mean,
interesting.
it was constant. I couldn't believe it. I leaned over at a couple of the OPA trainers a few times and was, am I at a softball game? I feel like I'm at a softball game because it was constant.
That's crazy. Okay,
It
interesting.
really because I thought the same
But
thing. I was like, wait a second, what's happening?
trying to think in college baseball if that is a thing, and
I don't know.
I don't really hear. I mean, from the college baseball games that I've watched, just because they're in their postseason right now, the NCAA Super Regionals just wrapping up last week as they go into the games to be played at Omaha. But like, I don't hear a lot of the chanting. Like, even college softball definitely has it.
Oh yeah,
A lot of the cheers and chants and things like that
absolutely.
definitely has it. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting. I'll have to we should do like a history of this on a podcast. Like, where did this
History.
start?
Oh, I wrote down some great discussion things for
Okay.
Alaska Sports Talk at some point during the summer, kind of, or in the late summer, early fall as football's getting going, certain things that we could definitely talk about. And one, we've touched on this a little bit. I think we've touched on all of these topics,
Okay.
but we can have more in-depth ones. And we would love to hear what you all are thinking as well on some of those ideas. But can athletes be seen in Alaska? Classification,
Okay. I like it.
classification slash school
Yeah.
size. What's the appropriate competition level? Because that's a big one right now. And other things
Yeah.
like if you were the czar of football, what would it look like? If you're the czar of basketball, what would it look like? Things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'm in.
sportsmanship is another one we could tackle. And then I know some people might find it boring, but I think the business of sports
I
is epically fascinating and where some of those balances. And we touched a little bit on it last year. What
yeah.
is the role of high school sports? It's obviously not to make money all the time. I would
No.
totally agree with that. But there has to be some sort of balance in some of that because you have to make something to put some of these things on. So where those are just some of the things I wrote down as possible things. And
Yeah.
again, if you have ideas, email them in,
Ideas.
put it out there on social media. We're checking. It's a little harder to check all the Instagram comments though, because
Right.
we get a lot more of those. So, but you can always email
S-
the show.
you can. You can certainly do
Contact
that.
Contact at alaskasportstalk.com. Contact us,
Perfect.
excuse me.
We've gone down a rabbit hole. We
We've
went from
definitely, yeah, rabbit hole big time.
D1 softball
Yeah.
to like just all over the place. So we'll get back on track here. D1 champion again, Chugiak Mustangs taking down Sitka 8-5 in the championship game. Boom. All you need to know. Mustangs, pretty good at softball. They've made a lot of state championship appearances over the last 5 years. There
Yeah.
we go. All right. D2 softball. The Palmer Moose with a wild win over Delta 17-16 in the if necessary game. 17-16. But Palmer actually coming out of the consolation bracket,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because Palmer lost their first game after having a bye. They played North Pole in another wild, high, crazy scoring game. They lost to North Pole 21-20, so they immediately get bumped to the consolation round one, right? And so Palmer has to win against Kodiak, and they do. They win 16-11. They then play Homer in their second consolation round matchup, and they win 14-6. And then Palmer with another game against North Pole, who they lost 21-20. This time they defeat the Patriots 19-18 to get to the championship game. Delta, on the other hand, they had an opening round bye, beat Homer 15-9, and then beat North Pole 11-3 to get to the title game. Palmer won the first game because it's a double elimination tournament, right? 12-2, forcing the if necessary game. And then Palmer won the if game 17-16. So how many games in a row did Palmer end up winning? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had to win 5 in a row to win the title. Has that, I think
Well,
it's been
actually,
done maybe?
they would have won. They would have had to win 4 in a row if what's on Max Preps is correct, because
Okay.
they had the 9 a.m. game on Saturday, then an 11:30, then a
Right.
2, then a 4:30. I mean, they were playing 4 games in a row. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like it was a game and then a break and then another. I mean, it's 4 solid games right in a row, right after each other. That's
Right.
impressive.
That is impressive. That's very impressive
Yeah.
because the consolation round, I mean, you take a look at June 6th. Yeah, they played 4 games on June 6th,
Yeah.
right? The 2 consolation games and then the 2 games for the championship. So that's impressive. And you
And
put up 14, 19, 12, and 17
that's
runs in
what I
those
was
four
just, yeah,
games.
that's what I was just gonna say. It's not like it's 5-4, six
Right.
four, 14, 19. I mean, yeah,
That's
that's
crazy.
the hitters were out on
They
Saturday.
were. They were. And the Palmer Moose needed them. That's for sure. So um congratulations to the Palmer Moose for winning the D2 state softball championship. So, uh, yeah, kind of wraps up high school sports. I think
Really does.
I think there was nothing else. I mean, that's
Nothing.
it.
Baseball, softball. That's that final
That was
weekend.
it.
That's it.
So, whew, all right. Well,
Yeah.
high school sports in the books. It's the off season for the Anchorage Wolverines, but I know you're busy with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, actually, there's some news. It was starting to pick up some steam the middle of May, but we weren't sure where it was going to go. It looked more like it was going to be a next year thing, but
Yeah.
it actually came down today and it's all become official, or it's not official, but it's going to happen. The Chippewa Steel are moving out of the Midwest Division, and
Okay.
they're moving to Pueblo, Texas, I believe it is. So they're moving out of the Midwest and they're moving into a different division. And now the NOL has just granted a West Division. I think that's what they're calling it. No, maybe it's not West. Anyway, they're adding 5 new teams, so it's going to be 5 divisions for the null for null instead of the 4 divisions that they have had. Now it's now it's 5, and to replace the Minnesota or the Chippewa Steel, the Minnesota Mallards are coming into the Midwest division.
Okay.
So basically, there are a few teams that have been wanting to get back into the null, or not wanting to get back, but into the null for the last couple of years, and it looks like that's all finally happening. So the Minnesota Mallards are coming into the Midwest Division starting this coming season.
Yeah, the Chippewa still, you mentioned that they're moving to Pueblo, Colorado.
That's it,
So
Colorado.
yep.
That's
So
it.
Colorado, yeah. To I don't know. There's also another team that's starting, I think, isn't there, in Austin? Is that right? Is that
Uh,
or is that a different level of
I
hockey
think
I'm
that might be
thinking?
a. I think that might be a different level.
Hold on. Because I felt like I read somewhere um trying to find it. No, no, no. Is that it? Maybe, maybe. Nope, nope. I know that there's an Austin team in Minnesota that's part of the
Yes,
Null,
and
but that's not. No, I
they
saw
were in
something
the
else,
they were
but
in the Final Four this year.
yeah.
They were really good.
What the heck? I thought I saw somebody else. I'll find it later. This was a couple of months ago when I saw this. I think it was another team maybe moving. I don't remember, but if that rings a bell or not. But I
No,
thought somebody was moving to Texas.
there was a team in Colorado, but that team got suspended or not. I mean, they suspended themselves. It wasn't any punishment or nothing like that when you think of suspension. But and some of that had to do with the rink deal and some other stuff on their end of it. So,
I got it. The Northern Iowa Bulls
oh yes,
moving to Houston. That's what it was,
correct.
not Austin. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep,
So,
that happened. Well, was it last season? I thought maybe it's happening this season. I can't remember now. There's been some movement. There's
yeah,
definitely some things that were happening. And again, when I was at the Board of Governors meeting, it looked like some of that was going to take place at some point because there was interest. But I didn't anticipate it moving that fast. And then with Minnesota Mallards coming in and Chippewa moving and going into a different division. So definitely is going to add some new
has there
experiences.
has there ever been any talk? And obviously, this is year one on the job for you, but like aligning divisions geographically or more geographic, like centric,
I
like
don't I can't say for sure that there hasn't been, but with these new teams coming on, I know one is in Idaho, there's some now and there's another one in Colorado. I believe there's going to be one in Montana. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's some more realignment that happens, but some of these teams that are joining now have been part of another league and have expressed interest. They've wanted to go up together.
right. Okay.
So I don't know if I wouldn't say that it's impossible in the next little while.
Yeah.
I, and if the null wants to expand a little bit more, depending on the business model, if that stuff works out later on, could we see some more teams in the West, even further west? Possibly, but I don't know what that looks like right now. But
All right, I was just
it
curious.
wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me if in a few years time that there's some there's some alignment
Well,
because a lot of those teams are lined up geographically already.
right. Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, it made me think of like the Braves in the early 90s and the 80s. They were part of the NL West,
Yeah.
right? Before they joined the NL East. I'm like, is the Atlanta Braves playing in National
Yep.
League West against the Giants and all? Like, I'm like, what the heck is going on here? But anyway,
Well, and
yeah,
this will be the furthest west teams that they've ever had besides Alaska, which they consider northern teams,
right.
obviously. I mean, we're northwest, but now could there be some future? I think at some point those conversations will happen, but whether that happens in the next year or two, I would kind of think that wouldn't happen. But further
Yeah.
on, I could see that happening, especially if costs for fuel and other things keep increasing or there isn't some changes there. Again, it's hard to speculate on some of those.
Yeah. It is hard to speculate, but yeah. Interesting. I think
Yeah,
you're right. We're going to see some movement probably in the next couple, 3 years in terms of more realignment, and especially as more teams potentially look to try to come on to the
Yeah,
null. So
yeah,
anyway, something to keep your
absolutely.
eye on. Another thing to keep your eye on right now, it's the off season for college hoops, but Matt Toon and the UAA women's basketball team making moves, getting some ladies into the program, announcing some signings last week. Some names you might be familiar with, at least a couple of them. Bella Hayes, who spent time at Eastern Washington Division One school, uh, is transferring to UAA for her final season of college hoops. So Bella played her high school basketball out at Wasilla. You may know her sister, Layla
Mm.
Hayes, younger sister at the University of Iowa, but she is transferring back to UAA. And then Evan Hamey as well. She's coming in, I believe, from Colorado Mesa. So she'll have a couple of seasons remaining, transfer in, be a junior. So uh, two ladies coming back to the state of Alaska to play for Matt Toon. The other signee, Amber Karchner, was somebody who played for Matt Toon when he was at Utah Tech. So another Division One transfer. So two D1 transfers coming to UAA. Uh, that's going to be huge, and this
Big,
gives him
big.
a lot of depth now. So, I mean, a 6'3" forward, 6'4" center, and now a 5'9" guard, which is Amber Karchner. But this is it's a good class of players. And then you add in the returners coming back from, last year's squad. It's going to be a team to be reckoned with. You saw some of the flashes, you know, of what could be, right? And just didn't have the consistency over the course of the regular season. But now, Tune in his second year, starting to build the depth of the roster, starting to, get the type of players he wants in the system now. It's going to be it'll be a fun team to watch and see this fall. That's for sure.
I think so. I think there's going to be a buzz over at UA, no doubt,
Yeah, of course.
as there should
And
be.
I mean, it's basketball now at UAA is it's turning a page with women's hoops last year, men's hoops coming up this year with Cameron Turner taking over,
Hmm.
and he's also bringing in a whole bunch of players as well. Some players that have followed him from Eastern Arizona up here, and he's been hitting the recruiting trail hard since he's been named the head coach at UAA. So there's going to be some exciting movement in terms of men's and women's hoops at UAA, and then before you know it, it's also going to be UAA volleyball.
Oh,
So you
it's
get to see Morgan Ho in her first
yeah,
season at the helm of the Seawolves. So it's a lot of firsts. It's a lot
it's
of
it'll
firsts.
definitely be a brand new year coming. I mean,
Yeah.
it always is, but this is going to be this is, as you've mentioned a few times, kind of the busiest off season as you go for UAA they've had in decade plus. I mean,
Yeah. And it's still
just
not really finished. I
no,
mean,
it
if you want
isn't.
to say, I mean, the coaching hires have been made, right? So they got head coaches for the programs. The one big piece is still who's going to be the full-time athletic director. Uh, the job closed a couple of months ago into April, and
Yeah,
no announcement has been made as of yet of who is going to be the acting athletic director. Now, obviously, we're in a little bit of a downtime in terms of the University of Alaska Anchorage having any sports going on. So, I mean, if there is a benefit, obviously they're in a time where they can take their due diligence and do some things, and kind of not drag it out, but really focus, right? Is that Billie Jean? I Can you hear that? Did you hear that?
vaguely,
Oh,
very,
okay.
very, very, very lightly.
Billie Jean just came on out of nowhere. Michael Jackson. Okay,
Oh,
sorry. But anyway,
nice.
yeah. So that's the final piece of the puzzle. When is that going to be named? I mean, that's what a lot of people are wondering, and I still don't really have any true inkling of who candidates are. Like that's been kind of like I'm not
Yeah,
saying hush hush, but it's like, did you apply? Did you apply? Like, who's applied for this thing? And I haven't really heard too much. So
it'll
I don't
be.
know.
And I mean, it's definitely the off season, but I can tell you, a person, especially an athletic director, during this time, I mean, they are busy setting things ready to go. It is every week that passes as you get closer to the start of volleyball, which is well, and for
They
instance,
start in
cross
August.
country. I mean, it is
I mean, they're a
there's
month and
a
a half. I mean, UAA volleyball will start at the end of August. So at least they did
It's,
last year.
I
Not
mean,
to say that they won't start, a little bit later, but
we're really in reality, when you look at it, just for reference, the first practice for cross country running is July
yeah.
27th.
Yeah, for high school. Yeah.
Yeah. And what, football is July 29th. I mean, it's
Yep.
that same, we're
Same
six
week.
weeks, 7 weeks away from that.
Yeah.
That's, and those weeks, yeah, sure, the
Well,
sun goes out and people want to be outside. I get it. But man, whew, that is tough.
it's creeping up. I mean, which is crazy to think about just because we're wrapping up one sports season and kind of taking a break, but it's going to be back before we know it. But I
You
feel like with
blink and it's
UA,
done.
yeah, I mean, not having an athletic director and everything that goes into being an athletic director nowadays, in terms of getting sponsorships and, you know, just all the things that go into it outside of dealing with day-to-day athletes and the internal stuff within the athletic department. There's a lot more, I think, outside that goes into it during this time frame,
Oh yeah.
trying to align things going into the season that could be happening. Right now, I'm not saying it's not happening because Tanya Pont doing a fantastic job as the
Awesome.
intern and navigating the waters and doing everything that she can, but not having that person that has that vision of what they want to do. Because I'm sure whoever gets the job, they're gonna do things how they want to do it, right? I mean, and they might want to switch things up. So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
It's, yeah, when you get into those major athletics and stuff, at the D1 level that you see with colleges, when college football is doing their thing and all that, do you hire the athletic director or the, whoever that is, the football czar or whatever you're calling
Yeah.
them, or the general manager like Stanford has with Andrew Luck. You're
Right.
getting those people in place before, so that they're picking the coach. It doesn't happen the other way around very often. Now, again, in fairness, this is Division II. It's not the exact same thing. You couldn't have a better person doing, kind of keeping the seat warm as Tanya at all. I mean, she's excellent. Worked with her many times, so she's a good person to have. But it's
Yeah.
definitely, I know her plate is incredibly full normally, and now you add this piece onto it. That's a
Yeah.
You
It's a
want to get
lot.
the right person. Obviously, you definitely want to get the right person.
I'm curious as to like what's the average length of time when AD jobs open before somebody gets hired? Yeah, I feel like at the Division 1 level, I've there's been instances where it's taken, a month or a year. I mean, obviously that's a huge time frame, but I mean, somebody's been in the works for a while. I know at University of Oklahoma, good example. Okay. Joe Castiglione, the AD there for 27 years or something like that. 20, actually maybe 30 years, but announced his resignation in like November of last year, right? Said I'm done. And by spring sports season, they already had a new guy. Like, boom. Now that's a little bit different because it's an announced, planned out type thing, I guess. But when Ryan left UAA, he kind of announced it. I felt like there's been what that was way back in August
I
of
want to say
last
it was
year.
August or September.
So I feel like there's been a lot of time. I mean, and obviously a lot of things have happened within the athletic department during that time, but I don't know. It just and
I
the
don't
job
think
didn't officially get posted until
that's
April.
I
I
think the
mean,
biggest. I think, to me, that seems like the biggest, not issue, that's the wrong word for it. I don't know whether that seems to be like the biggest problem that's happened, is that it didn't really get posted until then. So now
yeah,
you have some people who have already kind of, in the college hiring section. I mean, it's not a bad time to post it, but why not earlier, I
right,
guess. And
yeah,
that to me is, and again, maybe there's other, when you get into these institutions, it's, there's a lot of departments, there's a lot of people that have to have to kind of give their blessing, say so. Kind of, I guess that's the wrong term for it again, but it's definitely a complicated, multi-layered.
There's a lot of rubber stamps that have
There's
to
a
be
lot
collected.
of stamps
Yeah.
that they've got to go through things.
So, and it's not just the athletic department, I mean,
No,
board of regents, all that kind of stuff, plays a factor in it. I get it, but you just think back to when the job came open and how long it's been open. Um, it's just like, huh, okay. And the job posted in April, closed in April. I know they got a third party, hiring firm going through all the candidates and things like that and helping out and, vetting potential candidates. So to me, it's just taken a long time. And
it's
like
definitely been a while. It's definitely been a while. That's for
the
sure.
longer it drags out, like I honestly thought that it was going to be named by the end of mid May, maybe the last week of May. And now we're entering June. Still nothing. Haven't heard anything. But watch what's going to happen. We're going
It'll
to
be
talk about
tomorrow.
it, and then tomorrow it's going to get posted. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So
That somebody will download and listen to this podcast on
you're an idiot.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's we're taping this Monday night, Wednesday. These idiots. What are they talking about?
Yeah. Uh, so anyway, that's the only piece of UAA that's, kind of missing in terms of everything
It's,
else that was, open. So all the coaching positions have been filled. That's ready to rock and roll, and now they're just waiting for that last cornerstone there of the athletic department to be announced. So I will say my gut feeling is somebody from out of state. That's my gut feeling.
I I would be and again, this is just I would be shocked if it's somebody in state because that has not been what UAA has done in a lot of these positions.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just not. So I would be shocked if it's somebody in state, honestly. But I
Could
could be
be.
wrong too.
Yeah. Yeah. Watch tomorrow. I mean, watch Isaiah
Yeah,
be named
exactly.
tomorrow. Like
Much,
I knew he's been holding out. Like, I don't
yeah.
know. I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm kidding. Anyway, all right. Anything else that we can think of?
No, there'll probably be some other announcement things having to deal with some sports stuff and bigger topics here later on in this month, maybe in July. So if those some of those things happen that I think are going to be happening, we can have an emergency podcast of some sort to
Yeah.
talk about it. But yeah, it's nothing extra right now other than
Yeah.
some of the things that we obviously can't talk about on air until we know for sure.
Yep. For sure. Don't forget, Alaska Baseball League is going. Get out there and enjoy some Alaska baseball stuff. I know the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, Anchorage Bucks, Eagle River
Mhm.
Chinooks, Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. Uh, Peninsula Oilers are back this year after having a year away. So they got a team back down on the peninsula. So a lot of college baseball this summer. And the weather this week looks good for it. So
Uh,
hopefully
if you can, there's not a lot of things better than going to a baseball game in the sun with the kiddos.
it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
fun times. Fun times. So as Isaiah mentioned, yeah, we'll keep you updated on other things that are going on in the world of sports here and there. May not be as frequent as once a week, but we will keep you in the loop
Yeah.
until we get back into the thick weeds of the high school sports and college sports season. So another sports season in the books,
In the
another
books.
season of the Alaska
Season
Sports
three. Season
Talk
three
Podcast. Three
in the
years.
books.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we might have Brad Lowers back by the
Depending on
next
when
episode.
I know
Yeah,
he's gallivanting out around doing basketball camps.
doing
So maybe
basketball. Yeah,
someday he'll come back into
we'll
Anchorage.
see.
We'll see.
If and when he does, he'll be back on the podcast, I'm sure. So until that time, for Isaiah Freeman, I'm Keaton Homer signing it off. We'll catch you around the ball field somewhere out there in the sports universe of
Somewhere.
Alaska. Yep. Later.